1968 Bertone Carabo concept. So I found this as the one I'm going to do for an example here in this video tutorial. I love this. This is a predecessor to the Lamborghini Countach. I found this website that is what I'm going to put in for my link for the concept car. And it's sort of a classic styled car. So I'll just get right into it. I saved this image, but I had to put that into a Google drawing. So I'll show you that to you really quickly. Here, if I copy this image, right click and paste it, and I can go to format, or I can highlight it and go format and flip it. So that's what I did. And over here, I already kind of built this this body, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is scroll back the timeline all the way here to the beginning. So the first thing I did was put in the picture. So you have to, again, hit this plus sign. You have to go to import. Hopefully you've downloaded your image already. And in this case, I don't have it on this computer, but I had already uploaded the image prior. Here it was. So it actually attaches it to this file down here. So you have to hit that by hitting import and then select the JPEG image file. Now you have to pick on the right-hand plane and you'll hit sketch. And then you'll say here to insert image, and then you go pick the image you want. And in this case, I put it in there and I didn't even care about what size it was because we can resize it later. Although I did try and put it here on the ground plane. I'm considering this blue line right here as the ground plane and in the middle roughly. So I put it like right there. I'm just going to undo that for a second because what I did is I just did that already in sketch number 2 here. Now, the next thing I do is I use the curve tool to outline the total outline of my car. So if I edit this sketch, so I sketched again on the right plane, and then I used the spline tool. Sorry, I meant spline tool. And you can see I have a total of 4 nodes. 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes on that spline right there, and it made an almost exact duplicate of the car. And another 4-point spline up here, and a 3-point spline to make the back. And then it looks like I did a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 point. So it's spline for the, and that's just straight line at the front. And 7 for the bottom. Then I decided in this I was going to try and do a loft and show you guys. You guys just learn the loft, and I figured with this car that I picked, a loft may do really nicely. So I just did a loft. So I need another sketch out to the side. So I created the plane. So I used the plane tool, did the offset from the center, and I just pulled it out to what I thought might be approximately about the half width of the car. And I think it ended up being just basically exactly 2 inches. You can see right here. And so that'll work. If I need to change it later and make it more narrow, I can always come back here and update it. So I don't get too crazy about getting everything. You'll see I don't really care about the scaling because I can scale this later and figure it out when I go to 3D print the elements, how big I want them. Okay, so now what I did there is then once I created that offset plane over here to the right, I select it, sketched on it, and I sketched out what I thought was basically the side of the car now. So the first one was the mid center point overall outline of the car. And then this next one is kind of a copy of it. It's just a smaller version of it. And you can actually just do that exactly. I'll show you a trick here. So I could just pick, I could just say use, and then go and use these, and by picking on them, and it will project them onto the sketch plane. And then one more trick, I hit escape to get out of that tool. Then I highlight the whole thing, and then I go to transform. That will change the size of it. I make the transform controller in the middle, and then I do this. So that's one alternative way to do this. And I found it was basically about a 0.95. In this case, probably more like a 0.94 ratio. Accept that. And then I'm ready to do my loft. So I could come in here and say loft, this and this, and you'll see that it does exactly that. It makes this loft. Okay. And so this would just be the half of the car. I'll mirror it over to get the other half. So let me show you that really quick. So if I accept that, and then to get I won't do this till later. Usually I get done designing the half of the car, and then I'll do the mirror. I'll say this, and the mirror plane, I click in here, say right plane. And you can see it's a little wide for what I want, but gets us in the ballpark. Now, what I'm going to do is, since I'm going to undo that and just kind of show you that the next steps that I did was I created a sketch plane for creating the cut of the car. So you'll see in this particular car, this is a great article about car body design. I just randomly found this one. I want to read more on this, but you can see that it's got this kind of like chamfered edge along the top from the mid line of the car here to the greenhouse or the mid to the header of the car. So what I did, I decided I would create that by just cutting that slice out, but I needed a curve to do that with. So this is what I created using the spline tool and then finishing it with just a couple straight lines. Now I have that profile I can pick. And what I did is I picked it and extruded. So that was just pick that profile and remove, and I removed it symmetrically in both directions, and it cut that out. And now I do the mirror. So you can see I'm getting pretty close to something that I like here. And then I decided I would attack these vents, these airfoil air vents out the back here. And there's a word for this type of fanning or paneling. It's escaping right now. But anyways, so that was what I did there, is I kind of cut that out, and I decided I would make those later. And then basically I'll show you all the way to the end here that one of the last things that I did is I made the wheel well cutouts. So I sketched to the right plane here and created the cutouts. And again, I just copied the image there to make sure I had it like it was in the photo. And one little trick I did there was when I did the extrude, I did remove, but then I put in an offset, starting offset of 1 inch. That way it doesn't cut out all the way through the car. It starts from the plane here to here is 1 inch, and then it cuts out the last inch through the car like that. So I feel like that's a pretty good start for me. Now I can get in and try and make some of the details and get ready to try and make my poster and my 3D print. I hope this helps you guys. Okay. Till next time, happy modeling.